the littlest chef. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome to the Littlest Chef. My name is Natalie, and on today's episode, we are meal prepping yet again. Today I have 2 hours to meal prep, only 2 hours. I'm about to set my timer right now. And today I'm actually gonna go see the Nutcracker. And so I only have a short amount of time to cook because if I don't cook in time, they're gonna lock me out, okay? So let's get cooking. On the menu this week, we have a delicious vegan lasagna. I promise you it's gonna taste so good. I do not know why I did this, guys. I was trying to be funny or something. But let's go ahead and get started with this dish. We're gonna add some olive oil to our pan, and then we're gonna go in with epis like we always do, okay? And this is just a green base that is a mixture of onions, garlic, red pepper, green pepper, parsley, all that good stuff. If you wanna know how to make it, please check out the epis video. So we're gonna let the epis get a little bit brown, and that should take about, I would say, like 1 minute or so. And this is the olive oil I like to use. It's from Trader Joe's. So then we're gonna add some red onions and let that get a little bit brown. And that should take, let's say, about 2 minutes or so. You don't want it to get like very cooked thoroughly. We just want it to fry up a little bit in the oil and epis mixture. Okay, so our red onions look nice and brown. Now we're gonna go in with our veggies. We're gonna add some chopped mushrooms, chopped red pepper, and chopped zucchini. And make sure when you're chopping your veggies, you should chop them super small for this dish, okay? Because when you're making the sauce, when you're combining this with the tomato sauce, you want it to kind of look like ground beef, you know what I mean? Even though this isn't real beef, but you want it to have like a similar look. And it's gonna kind of taste a little bit meaty too because of the mushrooms. So now we're gonna go in with our seasonings. I have garlic powder. We also are adding some onion powder. We have here Miss Dash chicken seasoning that I like to add a little bit of. And we're also gonna go in with some sea salt, some fresh sea salt. And then we also have some Monterey chicken seasoning. All right, very important. You're gonna let those veggies saute, but you don't add any water to this mixture because the veggies over time, they're gonna produce their own water. And you also want that water to evaporate. So you're just gonna leave it uncovered. So let's make our vegan ricotta. Here we have a cup of cashews. We have some frozen spinach. We have our lemon juice, the juice of 1 lemon, some extra firm tofu, nutritional yeast, Miss Dash chicken seasoning, onion powder, garlic powder, and sea salt. And the Miss Dash chicken seasoning doesn't have any like chicken bouillon or any chicken essence in it. So this recipe is completely vegan. So we're gonna break up our tofu into the blender first. And then we're gonna go in with 1 cup of cashews, then the 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, I like to add a cap full of nutritional yeast, or you could do 2 really big tablespoons. A little bit of sea salt, I think that's about a teaspoon. Then same thing, onion powder, garlic powder. a little bit of the mustache. Okay, now let's get back to the veggies. As you can see here, the water is evaporating and it's sauteing and it looks very, very good. So here is when you want to add your pasta sauce. I have 2 cans of pasta sauce that I got from Whole Foods. This is my favorite pasta sauce because it has completely clean ingredients and it doesn't have any added sugars, so it's perfect. Then what I like to do to give it a little bit of a zing, I like to add a little bit of ketchup. I have the Noble Made sugarless ketchup, and for this one I think they add a little bit of like apple juice and apple cider vinegar, and I just like that little bit of a zing and a little bit of the sweetness that it gives to the tomato sauce. So you're gonna just let that sit and boil for a good like 10 to 15 minutes. All right, back to the vegan ricotta. This is how it looks. We're gonna get ready and blend everything up. But before we do that, we're gonna add half of a cup of water so that it can blend. And you may need to add more water as we go through this process of blending, because it might be a little bit difficult to blend. We forgot to add the oregano. We cannot forget that. So let's go in and add some oregano. And I think now we're good with all the seasonings. So we're gonna blend, 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 blend. And then sometimes it's gonna get stuck, so you have to take the blender off and shake it up a little bit, and then blend, blend, blend. And then you're gonna continue this process. You may have to mix things up a little bit with a spoon. This process is a little bit annoying, but just have patience. I promise you it's gonna come out. Literally, the texture is the same, like real ricotta cheese. All right, and this is the final product. Nice and smooth, very similar texture to ricotta cheese. So for those of you who can't do dairy, or for those of you who are vegan, you won't miss the real ricotta made with whole milk, okay? I promise you. So let's start putting this lasagna together. Here we have the vegan tofu ricotta that we blended earlier, and we're gonna take some spinach here. Here I'm using frozen, you can also use fresh, and we're gonna just mix that together. Preheat your oven to about 350, 375. Okay, so let's mix that up. All right, so that is the tofu ricotta. In our oven, we have some whole wheat lasagna noodles that I boiled. We have the tofu ricotta. We have that delicious veggie beef mixture over there. And then last but not least, this is the cheese I love to use. Violife has a very good mature cheddar sliced cheese, or they also have provolone. Any of those would work really well in this recipe. And then I'm actually gonna put a little bit of nutritional yeast on top. Just because it reminds me of Parmesan cheese, even though it's not Parmesan cheese, but it's a flaky substance, guys. All right, we're gonna put a little bit of that on top, and then we are good to go. Right. So that's how the vegan lasagna looks. So pretty.
Yo ti kout lo jeu, yo ti kout lo fête des yo content jou fête, yo crier jou des, yo rap le yo tout c'est ratement dessoufflé.